Hello, welcome. Bear with me for a moment. While I get myself situated here. Hi. Just felt called to come on live and probably pull a few cards, but also just to talk about the energy and some of the experiences. Hi, Nicole. Yay, you got me. Some of the experiences that I've had this week, and always more, realizations and epiphanies, especially lately. But as we are here right now, we are in the midst of a pretty large solar storm, geomagnetic storm. The sun had erupted a few coronal mass ejections that were Earth facing from a very large sunspot. And so we're experiencing some pretty high solar winds right now. And it could cause disruptions in communications, in electronics, in animals, and humans. It affects our electromagnetic field. It affects our energy, our nervous system mostly, and our cardiovascular system as well. So be mindful of that if you're feeling heart palpitations, having a really hard time sleeping. This is most likely the reason why. Not a doctor, so definitely if you feel called to get checked out, certainly do. But this is definitely a time where we're going to be feeling extra energy. And the way I can describe it for myself is the feeling of maybe having a little bit too much coffee. And it's really nice to have a little bit of pep in your step, but then you either come crashing down or you just can't seem to move the energy through you fast enough. So then you find your jaw tensing up, maybe heart palpitations or difficulty sleeping. I know also for me personally, and most of you energetically sensitives will also feel, I felt it when it first happened, which was a few days ago. It takes a few days for this energy, this plasma, the solar wind to actually hit Earth. But you feel it by a hot flash, just complete another rush of heat through the body. And it's very hard for me to gauge as a woman in the menopausal state of life, but I do have younger people and even children in my life who experience the same rush of heat. So I do know that it's not just me and it's not the hormones, basically, is what I'm trying to say. How are you doing? I hope that everybody's doing well. I wanted to share also some of I've been doing a lot of work with people one-on-one, work with people in sessions, and it's been extremely uplifting for me, enlightening for me, and just the feel of the resonance and the ability to open somebody's mind up to something they already know. Like, I'm not telling people what to think or anything, but just kind of digging in there and like bringing something to light. Oh yeah. And hard topics for people too. Not everybody, not everybody's talking about this awakening and the emotions and the energetics of it all, and it's such a big part of it all. So interestingly enough, this week, I found myself with one day, it's raining outside. She's not going to go outside for long. One day, I found my schedule kind of came to a halt. Somebody had to reschedule, and this work just kind of like was slow. So I just took that as having a day off, and it's interesting because I was just looking at my book. Something popped into my head about a certain book. And so I was looking for that book, and in the midst of it, I ended up finding this book instead, which I haven't fully read the entire thing, but I'm halfway through. And it really opened a lot up for me as far as grace and the gift of being able to give and being able to receive if you are in need, being able to ask for help if you are in need. It is called The Invisible Acts of Power, Caroline Myss. And I'm a big fan of hers, and I didn't even know I had one of her books. I know I go to a lot of different events, and sometimes if I see used books for sale really cheap, which obviously this one was, I pick them up intuitively. And this one I had bought years ago and didn't even realize I had it. So it's really amazing because, and I just want to kind of go, I'm not going to read to you guys, but this book, she's a medical intuitive, or had been, but she also now lectures all around the world in amazing topics. She studies the archetypes of humans and just life, the theories of life in general. But this is all about the chakra systems in the body, and these are our main energy centers in the body that spin like a wheel. And I'm only up to the third chakra, but these are the invisible acts of power that we are able to not only give to others, but it gives to ourselves as well. The first chakra, the root chakra, is our basic survival needs: food, shelter, water, things of that nature. So that is definitely something coming up in my radar, especially during the holiday season, and with the amount of people that have come through my life path that are finding themselves without food or shelter. It's definitely alarm bells of like, Paige, you've got to do something about this. And I even looked into volunteering at the food bank and homeless shelters, and they're because of COVID, it's a little bit different now than it used to be, but definitely having a voice or a platform I like to put out there to, if you're able to, donate to your local food bank and shelters, because they are definitely in need of things. The second chakra, which is our sacral chakra, is the gift of supporting somebody either financially or creatively. And this can be even just as much as, it doesn't have to be, because not many of us, I know I certainly don't have the abundance of finances to be able to just gift that to somebody. But it is these invisible acts of power, like that pay it forward type of mentality. Somebody pays somebody's tolls that's behind you. Most of us have Easy Pass nowadays, but paying for the person behind you in line type of thing. Hi, Patsy. So that's another beautiful way. And this energy, these invisible acts of power, it empowers not only the person that is either in need or not in need, but you never know when somebody actually just needs to know, hey, I'm not alone in the world, and somebody's actually being nice to me and thinking of me. That goes a long way. Huge. It's big, huge. And this is just to assist us in breaking out of our shell a little bit, so that we're not so much hermits, and that we realize that there are many people around us that are walking this world struggling or in a daze and not sure. And for more of us that are awake and aware, just to give a smile or a hello, or are you okay? Do you need help? Goes a long way. The third chakra, which is the solar plexus, and this is where I kind of ended it, again, already over halfway through the book, but is the ego energy, and this is giving unconditional support, friendship, and personal dignity. Just supporting somebody, like, you're doing a good job, or I really appreciate what you do, or just who you are in general. That goes a long way for people. So I wanted to share that. I didn't finish the book, but I wanted to share. Oh, I might as well finish the chakra system anyway, huh? I wanted to share how enlightening, and it's not like it's not something we don't know. I mean, we're taught these things when we're in elementary school, and children are more open to giving and, concern, empathic concern for one another without worrying, oh my God, what's it going to take from me, right? I mean, I'm honest. There have been many times where I'm like, ooh, yeah, I used to give until I had been taken advantage of, and I stopped in certain areas of my life where I've got to cut that off and see that whenever something is presented to me on my path, it is definitely presented to me for a reason. Also, to first use discernment and your intuitive senses to discern, is this someone I can trust? And even that, sometimes we judge a book by its cover, and then we become really surprised when we're wrong. The fourth chakra, the heart chakra, is the gift of kindness, the gift of forgiveness, the gift of compassion. So, and I think that everybody could use a little bit of this these days, but everybody needs this from time to time. Even those who are high up on their pedestal, like, I'm fine. No, that's also a facade, because we all are connected. We all are empathic and emotional beings deep down. Some more so openly expressive than others. The fifth chakra is the gift of will. This is the gift of being courageous and of offering guidance and assistance to others who are in need of it, who ask for it. The sixth chakra, the fifth chakra would be the throat chakra, expression, energy of determination. The sixth chakra, third eye, the energy of rational thought, the gifts of the mind. This is the gifts of wisdom that has been earned and learned the hard way. And optimism, staying optimistic and open to things turning around, and not always looking at the worst case scenario, or looking at the glass half empty. And the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, the center of higher consciousness. This is the gifts of spirit. These are the angels in disguise and the good Samaritans of the world, who just sort of pop out of nowhere from time to time. And I think that we've all had encounters with these earth angels. I know I've had certainly many of them, and they always enlighten me, lift my spirits, but also inspire me to be a better human here as well on this planet. All right, I'm gonna let her out, and then I'm gonna pull some cards. Okay. She is quite a bossy cat. So for any of you just joining, I was talking about the current energy, and it definitely is a lot of a huge influx of energy from the sun. Probably one of the biggest ones we've had since I've been tracking the solar activity anyway. We reached a KP7. I know that might not mean much to many of you, but we reached a KP7 today in the wind stream, and that gets up there where you might really, like on the physical plane, we could see transformers blow. We could see the energy grids in certain regions, not the whole world, having a hard time. Satellites, most likely will be having, so there's like communications. It's interesting that we're streaming live here. So I'm grateful for that. But more so that the effects that it has on humans, on just every living being on this planet. It can be anywhere from extreme, like, wow, I suddenly have energy, to just complete and utter chaos. So just be mindful of what we're working with right now. I want to first pull a card from the Oracle of the Seven Energies for all of us. And just get a message for us. How's everybody doing? Hanging in there okay? Anybody feeling inspired? The other thing I want to talk about, actually, I did write a few notes here. After talking about the CMEs, earth-facing CMEs, that we are now receiving that energy, and it's going to get stronger, most likely tomorrow or through the night tonight. It's hard to detect, but it's definitely headed our way. I totally thought that was my Leo meowing. Muted you, and I'll try to listen. She's very vocal and she wants her way. If I don't listen to her, she will not stop. So with this energy hitting us now, it's also the energy that is it's meant for human consciousness, meaning that this energy is working in combination with all of the other astrological planets that we are working with, in really stripping away the false, what's done, what's had its served its purpose in teaching us and molding us and shaping us, and then crumbling us down and building us back up as our true selves. Really, this is preparing us for something even bigger that is in the works. Now, this next transit that I'm going to talk about actually will not occur until, well, I mean, we're at the end of 2023. It will not occur until April of 2024, but we're being prepared for it now. And that transit is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And I'm really excited about this, but this is definitely life-changing events. Very powerful energy in Taurus. So that will be affecting our finances, our all the Taurus energies, right? But I don't want to say that in the negative, because many of us have been working very diligently in shifting and changing our life trajectory into more of our soul mission. And these energies that we're working in now and that we are being prepared for are really propelling us in a big way. And I've been shown that a lot this week, especially with some of the work that I've been doing at a healing center near me, and some of the opportunities that have presented to me. It is opening up my eyes to, oh wow, you mean my actual vision could possibly come to life eventually. It's exciting. So get excited for your life and where you want to take it, where your heart and your gut are taking you. Everything in life right now is showing us what we need to let go of. Thought forms, belief systems, beliefs about ourselves. It's really, I mean, I know this comes up often, stripping away what no longer serves you, right? Blah, 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 blah. This is like go time. It's go time. And each and every one of us is going to be set up for this in our own unique way. But as long as you are staying true to yourself, staying true to the path that you're being led on, and it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. It can be really scary to jump into the unknown, and there's not a whole lot of support on the ground floor yet. But we see and feel, we see the signs, little breadcrumbs here and there. We feel the energy of the support in the invisible realms. So, and some of us more than others, but I definitely am one to tell you that I have seen more than my fair share of omens and synchronicities, especially this week, not just for myself, but for where humanity is going as we continue to strip away layers and layers of really old, dense energy. We'll just call it energy. What no longer serves us. So it's showing us what we are in alignment with on our soul path and what we have got to let go to stay in alignment. So try not to take things personally. Instead, understand that if something that you were really attached to, someone or something, and you're just like, it's really hard to let go. And I know, trust me, I know. I'm definitely fixed energy and it's hard to let go, but when you know you got to, it's like, all right, I know that I'm going to be carried, and you always do. Everything always works out. It always works out. It's amazing. Even when it appears like it's going way down, sometimes we have to go all the way down to the bottom to get propelled back up. But the energy is very supportive of that. And if anybody wants to share what they're going through, what they're experiencing, feel free. All right. We have bearing fruit. I know I always forget things. There's always things that come into my mind when I want to go live, and then as soon as I'm live, universe takes me somewhere else. Sometimes when I'm done, and even when I'm done readings, this happened to me the other day. I was doing a reading for somebody, and it wasn't until later on I was driving in my car, and the rest of the message started coming through to me. I'm like, why are you doing this now? I'm no longer with this person, and I had to call her and give her the rest of her message. Okay. Bearing fruit. If your life were a tree, what fruit would it bear? Envision the results of your efforts in envision the results of the efforts you put into achieving your dreams and desires in partnership with the divine. Can you see the way you think, feel, and believe reflected in the material world? And this is what I'm talking about. It's all about, it goes down to the nitty gritty of, I'm still find myself with pessimistic thoughts. It's just in stupid little things. And I'm like, oh, catch myself, right? But knowing, taking every now moment here in life, knowing that I'm working with divine energy. We all are. That gives me a soothing sensation inside and really allows me to just keep going and trust. And trust me when I say it never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me. Okay. Can you see the way you think, feel, and believe reflected in the material world? There is always a correlation between what you see, what you expect to see, what you intend consciously, and what you project unconsciously. It's all connected. Everything is intrinsically connected. Sorry. I'll just read it. Everything is intrinsically connected. Magic flows through you from the unseen world into the world you perceive. Moving from the realm of non-ordinary reality to ordinary reality, you birth ideas and thoughts into form and bring your most cherished desires to fruition. Not all ideas will bear sweet fruit. Sometimes you will reap a sour and bitter harvest based on your sense of your personal narrative and your assumptions about others. You are in a powerful and fertile season of your life when you're particularly good at making things happen with very little effort. Pay close attention to what you're manifesting now. From your career to your personal relationships, your influence is strong at this time. And I have to stop here because I got the chills. It is very strong at this time. This heightened energy, this time of year, be careful what you wish for, truly, because we are manifesting way faster than we ever have in that I've ever seen. It's just, you blink and it's there. You can't miss it sometimes. So, and that isn't just my experience. So just be mindful. Pay attention to where your thoughts are taking you. Okay. If you don't like what your life is yielding, prune the proverbial tree and get back into alignment with what genuinely lights you up. Remember, you birth into the world that which you pay most attention to and consistently hold within as your truth. Be clear about what you intend. Can you make this commitment? So where our attention and energy goes, always, is where the energy flows. Now, a lot of times we aren't really going to see the correlation, or we won't see it right away, usually. But the way things are speeding up and the way the energy is moving right now, it is fast. It is way fast. And I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's fast. So it's a lesson in its own, you know. Let's see if any other messages want to come through for us as a collective. And I haven't even really looked at any of the current transits. I know we've had some big stuff, big, huge stuff. And I would just chalk it up to being Mercury. Let's just take Mercury, for example. Mercury now in Capricorn, and we'll be going retrograde shortly. But Mercury is the mind. Mercury is the collective mind as well. It's Hermes. So before Mercury goes retrograde, we may actually get to see our thoughts turn into reality. How you think about another person, they may turn around and act just that way. How you think about a situation. So be mindful, but it is definitely a lesson. It's a lesson in our thinking, our thoughts, which really I say our thoughts, but if you think about it, our thoughts, if you practice mindfulness, you will find that you are, or even just meditation. Meditation is not, so the term still the mind is kind of silly because you really can't shut it off all the way. There are techniques you can use to really bring it down a few notches, but when you pay attention to the thought streams, especially those that continuously loop back around or they're repetitive, and you're like, yeah, I see my thoughts won't stop. Well, who's the thinker and who's witnessing the thoughts? Your true soul self is witnessing the computer, the thoughts. They're not yours. They're in the stream of energy. They're also a part of your energy system because you have operated with them as part of your operating system, part of your programming, your conditioning, part of trauma experiences that we've had. Like someone, I think, I don't remember who was saying this. Someone throws you into the water and you get bit by something, and that happens like twice. You're gonna have a response before you like jump back into that water. You're not gonna want to jump back into that water, even though everybody around you is like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. You know, so we have these, we have traumatic response reactions that stay in there. I mean, there's just so much. So meditation will actually show you what's going on in the mind more and more often. It's not really a vacation from the mind. It's not a lobotomy. I'm sure there's certain drugs and things you could take for that, but I don't recommend that either. That's another thing that you want to pay attention to in this energy is substances. It's fine. This is holiday season. It's fine to kind of let your hair down and let loose. Be mindful of that too, because of the energy streams and more of us that are open channels, right? We're open channels for energy to come in and sort of take over a little bit. So anyway, I think that the holidays keep coming up for me because everywhere I go, I hear Christmas music now, and I'm like, it's that time of year. And you know, the old me used to kind of cringe for many reasons, but it's like that, you know, jumping into the water and getting bit type of trauma response. And now, especially after reading this book, nothing happens by accident. It's opened me up to this is my chance to be a giver in ways that, and we all can give in our own unique ways. It's not about giving money or time. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. And that's how we're supposed to work together. My strength is your weakness and your strength is my weakness. So we work really well together. There's confluence. And that's really how humanity is supposed to work together. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to put myself in an environment where there were volunteers and there were people that were dedicating their time to just help people. I want to put myself in that energy to expose myself to other humans that are in that same energy that I'm really feeling as far as giving to those who are less fortunate or who are just in need. Because I know when I was in need, I didn't have to even say anything, and so many good Samaritans and people have popped into my life to, even if it's just and even just the beautiful comments I get here on YouTube, it helps pick you up, it helps keep you going, it helps you from really staying in a dark place. I mean, we all have to go to the dark places, but we don't have to stay there. You know, it's nice to have a fellow human come and reach a hand and help you back up out of that hole. We all fall into the hole. 5 of Voices. It's a time for reconciling our differences within ourselves, the split energy within ourselves. This goes back to parts work, and I know I've been bringing this up a lot, but that's what this energy's really dedicated to doing. Exposing all of our parts to us so that we know, so that we're not a slave to ourselves. We're not a slave to the mind. We're not a slave to our trauma. We're not a slave to our past energy. And that instead we recognize and understand those parts in us that may have been operating on less than charitable resources, less than, you know, out of operating out of fear, you know, reconciling those parts. Every moment of every day, you have an opportunity, each and every one of us, we have an opportunity to turn our lives around, to make this the first day of the rest of my life. This is also speaking of forgiving those who may have put you in a position of pain or hurt you in some way, understanding that they are hurt also, hurt people unconsciously. There aren't many that actually consciously seek to hurt others. I'm not going to be naive and say there are none, because that's not true. But for the most part, to get out of victim consciousness and to rise above any challenges, pain, trauma, see it for what it is meant to teach us and allow us to grow, mature, evolve on our path, and then even elevate a little bit higher to see that they're actually projecting their pain onto us. Because the more of us that hold the higher vibration, hold the light, we are triggering to people that are really stuck in their pain. We are both triggering and we are also magnetic. They are drawn to us for multiple reasons. They have parts in them that know that this person can help me, but then there's another part that is there's another part that is wants to manipulate the energy so they can get what they want. But then when they recognize that you can see through that, they get angry, they either lash out or they run away. And it's just to have compassion in our heart for them, because recognizing all of the people in my life that have caused me pain, I see in every single one of them the depth of their pain, and it breaks my heart in a way, but it also teaches me my lessons without having, I don't want to say, well, without having just anger and I want to say spite. I don't know why spite comes up, but you know what I'm talking about. Without holding on to that. Many of us have held on to at least one or more. Some of it's family, some of it's one of these soul contracts that come into our lives and really rock our world and shake us up a bit. But it's all meant for us. It really truly is. And the more we can shake ourselves loose. Now, some are easier than others for sure, but knowing that there isn't anything else that we can do, they have to go on their path to see themselves. We've gone through the ringer to see our true selves. Everybody goes through that process. It is the hero's journey. Not everybody makes it through. So this spread is also talking about the gift of giving, forgiving, the gift of forgiveness, even if it's just energetic. Energetic, it can still be felt. Resentments, thank you, that was the word. Resentments, anger, jealousy, bitterness, resentments. It's important to release that, let that go, because energetically we can feel each other. Those are like through the psychic field and through the energetic field. People know, and they'll hold on to their shame and guilt and continue to repetitively enact on that. And so it doesn't help them. It doesn't help us. So it takes somebody who's more conscious to finally cut that, bring out that olive branch and receive forgiveness. Here we have equal give and take. What one does, what I do to you, I do to the whole. What I do to myself, I do to the whole. This is how interconnected we truly are. So this is also speaking of acts of giving and receiving. When we give from the heart, when we give from the root chakra, any of the chakra systems I was talking about earlier, we receive in return. The divine recognizes we're actually working with divine energy. We receive in return so much more, and it's invisible, but it's worth more than gold. And there we see new opportunities, Ace of Materials, new potentials, new opportunities that open up for us. Page of Emotions is talking about compassion, living from the heart, opening the heart, not blocking it. Below that is the Two of Voices. So a lot of us are still working through this or having a hard time, kind of this split energy. All right, let's talk about that for a minute. These are two very strong belief systems that are in the mind, completely opposing each other. Each has their own rationale, for sure, but one is linked to the past and one is linked to the future. That's the indecision. Unless we use our intuition, unless we truly connect to the divine, to our heart and live in heart, we're bound to go with the old and familiar, what we know, when we also know that it does good to actually give and forgive and have compassion. Let's just do one more to wrap this up. We're at 42 minutes already. Let's just do one more message to wrap this up for us all. I really am feeling the Starseed Oracle here. We also want to be able to teach the children of the world the gift of compassion, the gift of invisible acts of power. They already know. We all know. We're all wired this way, but we are programmed and conditioned in multiple ways to be out of alignment with that inner knowing that we are all brothers and sisters walking each other home. And if you see somebody stuck in a hole, how much is it really going to take from you to reach your hand out and offer them help out of that hole? In any way that you can, in your own strengths, not to deplete yourself from your weak spots, but in your strengths. The universe does not give us what we can't handle. And we have the void. How many of you feel as if you are in a void of some sort? I would love to hear the answer to that. This card says stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. That's another big thing that's been coming up. Along with narcissism, which I did do a video on that, is the mother wound, which is linked to narcissism and many other things as well. And without making this video very long, I'm going to put that on my list of things to talk about, the mother wound in females and in males. But let's read this from the void. The great cosmic womb. Everything and nothing exists in the void. It's where all life begins and ends. Oh, this is just bringing up Mercury again before I continue. Mercury had been, during that last moon cycle, in a conjunction to the Great Attractor, which almost looks as though, Google it. It's an amazing place in space with powerful energy. Now, Mercury has just moved through the galactic center, which is more powerful energy. So our minds are really going through a shift. We're almost being reprogrammed by the cosmos. All right, let's keep going. Everything and nothing exists in the void. It's where all life begins and ends. It's the winter and the womb, the fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting. It can feel both overwhelmingly small and huge. The void is where faith lives. The void is where faith lives. The message of the void is to surrender to the unknown, to allow the fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seeds growing within you, regardless of whether you know what they'll one day become. You're being called to surrender to the mystery of what's next, to rest, and to allow the winter of your life to do the work for you, to hand over your control and trust that just because you can't see what's happening beneath the surface, it doesn't mean that things aren't at work. The greatest weavings happen when we find a way to surrender and trust that our life is being knitted for us, right beneath the surface, in ways known and unknowable. Now is the time to cultivate faith and allow deep, deep rest. The void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase, when we're called to let go of all that we know and identify with. When you're in the void, it can feel scary and as if you should be doing something. However, when this card appears, it's a sure sign that the most productive thing to do is relinquish control and surrender to the changing mystery of your life. And this is exactly what I was saying in the beginning of this video. And that's where our minds are going a lot of times. Like I was saying, one of the day, this day, I think it was Wednesday, suddenly my calendar became clear and I didn't really feel it. I took it as a vacation day, but normally my mind would be like, I got to do something. And so I started looking through my bookshelf and found this book. Well, there's no accident there. I was meant to be reading this book to activate and remember the invisible acts of power, which is beautiful. This book is full of letters from people all over the world, thousands and thousands and thousands of them, in response to how have invisible acts of power affected you in your life. And they go a long way, and some of them they don't seem like anything, but to the receiver, they were everything. So remember that. It's not the size of what you give, it's because of giving from the heart and compassion that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. So that's what I have for us all today. And I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to sign off here now, but I wish you all a great evening or day, whatever it is where you are in the world, whenever you are watching this. I'm sending you guys out so much love. Take care. Bye.